Get the Stepping podcast. I'm your host S2, and we about to get the stepping, Man, check this out. YouTube suspended me for 1 week. This is my first day out. You know what I'm saying? First day out today. And to cut right to it, they suspended me because of using third-party content. But the crazy part is, not everybody, but a lot of people that you looked at as far as online, they're reviewing the same content that I was reviewing. But then I came to the conclusion that it could just be that I can't review it live. So it's a few takeaways that I got from as far as that suspension time. First, and I'm gonna read you guys the takeaways, the three main ones, and then go through them, and we'll go from there, right? So the first thing is you're only as free as you're allowed to be, and I know that may sound cliche, but that's a real thing, right? America is the freest country in the entire world. Yet when it comes to America being able to be free in America, we still have our limits, right? And that's shown especially in the social media era, but then also, in other areas of life, right? And then also when it comes to having a YouTube audience, it's not a business. YouTube is not a business until I own my own data and have my own audience. That's what makes it a business. That's the second thing that I thought about, right? Because when you have a YouTube, the way it sets up right now, you really are at the mercy of the YouTube guidelines, which, they not change, but they are dependent on what the ultimate governing body feels. So until you really own the data to your audience and really own your audience, then you really don't have if you would like to, but you really don't have a business when it comes to YouTube until you actually own the data for your audience. And that's another thing, that I learned. And lastly, YouTube is a product, right? During that time, I just really sat back because, you receiving YouTube ad dollars, people like Google ad dollars over Rumble or over Odyssey or, over even, Facebook. Facebook's not bad though, but, even all those other avenues, YouTube is the number one, right? Especially when it comes to even music, right? It's better than Apple Music, pays more than Spotify, doesn't pay more than Tidal though, I believe. But when it comes to Google ad dollars, like it pays the most. So YouTube is a product. Therefore, you have to promote the product from the standpoint of like during that time, I didn't really feel like being on no other platforms just because I was really just like, damn, like I really just got suspended. But I realized like, it gave me more time to just plan out my strategy when it comes to being able to drive traffic to the YouTube channel, because ultimately it's just building up a funnel to the YouTube channel. So that being said though, to take y'all back just a couple of steps, like the biggest thing during that time as far as being suspended, like I said, you're as free as you're allowed to be. When it comes to this YouTube channel and when it comes to being on YouTube, you are in a place where you can ideally, create what you want. Well, you can create what you want. You can do all these things, but it's to a certain extent. And doing it to that certain extent, meaning, you have to fall into the guidelines. So during that time, I had to think to myself, like, what do I ultimately want when it comes to the YouTube stuff, right? It's fun reviewing the videos, but then I was like, yo, I'm going to have to like do it differently, because just if I go live with it, I'm going to take you guys just through my thought process during this time. All right. This is what this show is about, because it really needs to be talked about. It's actually crazy. So during that time, I'm just sitting back and I'm thinking like, yo, what can I do differently? Like, what can I actually do differently? And shout out to YouTube. I can say they took the strike away. So the way YouTube strike program works, right? You get one strike on YouTube, you ban for a week. You suspend it for a week. You get another strike on YouTube, you suspend it for 2 weeks. You get 3 strikes, you're out. So, you're completely off. And ultimately, you have to figure out what you're willing to chance, right? Like, what is your cause willing to fight for? Is it willing to continue doing what you're doing and possibly get, one strike, and then it takes like 90 days for that strike to fall off? So in the time of that strike falling off, you have to decide if you want to continue doing that same strategy or not, because you might get another strike. And if you get another strike, you're 2 weeks suspended, and then it takes like 180 days for the second strike to fall off, but you can appeal it, right? So that's how I actually got the strike removed, just to give you guys some little insight. I had got a strike on my YouTube channel, suspended for a week, but I got the strike removed by actually just going to appeal it. And I explained to him like, yo, I'm using this in fair use. So what else do you want me to do to be able to use this same stuff? Because I see people reviewing the same videos that I'm reviewing. What do you want me to do? I flat out asked them, like, yo, what do you want me to do? So they got back to me and they basically said, you know, uh, your video was non-compliant with our guidelines. However, we did remove the video and we removed your strike. So at least they removed the video in one respect. You know what I'm saying? I mean, excuse me. At least they removed the strike, but at the same time, they removed the video. And that brings me to my next point. Like I said, you sit back and you can post all these videos to YouTube. You get to post, all these videos, and you probably heard it with some of your creators if you guys are into like, fresh and fit and stuff like that. Even the little Aiden Ross dude, like Aiden Ross, he even got like suspended or whatever. All of his videos got removed. That's what I'm saying. All of your videos get removed. It's not just a video, and that's the thing about it. It's not just like you just have a video that you have. It's that you are building up, putting up a part of your life on this platform, and it can all be taken away. And when I say it can all be taken away, I mean in that, it can all ultimately be taken away from the standpoint of your uh all everything that you work for, not everything that you work for, but everything that you put up, all the videos that you think you're stacking up over time. If your YouTube channel was just taken away, or if your YouTube videos are just removed, then you're in a position where basically everything is just taken away and you really ain't got no say so. And like I said, that right there needs to be talked about. Everybody should have say so, in my opinion, to be able to what you're doing with your content. I understand as a content creator, being able to have all of this information from the standpoint of having all of this content that you're constantly building up over time. And as you build the content up, you have to figure out, delete it. Are you going to delete the content? Are you going to keep the content? What are you going to do with this content, right? But when you have this content, you have to delete it because it's the amount of space that it takes up. It takes up so much space on your computer and on your hard drives, and it takes a lot of organization just to keep all the files organized, that if you don't delete it, then what ultimately are you going to do with it, right? So that's the biggest thing. As a creator, it's not really fair, from our point of view, that if you take all this time to put in a lot of effort on your YouTube channel, building up all this stuff, and then ultimately can be taken away. When I got the stream taken down, I was 2 hours and 20 minutes into the stream and it got taken down. It was a humbling experience in so many ways, because it's like, bro, I'm 2 hours and 20 minutes in. I probably have made $10 on the stream, right? Depending on, and everything depends on what your RPM is, right? So what your RPM and what your CPM, right? So your CPM is your cost per mile. That's what the advertisers pay on YouTube. So that's how much you as an advertiser got to pay. That's how much it costs, per mile, which basically just means, your cost per 1,000 views. So cost per mile means cost per 1,000 views when it comes to YouTube. So that's how much as an advertiser you're paying. Say your CPM as a channel, how much do you require as a channel? Not really require, but like, what's your standing as a channel, right? So somebody like Mr. Beast is going to have a way higher RPM because they have kids that they're attracting, right, to their channel. So they're marketing to the kids, but they're also marketing to the parents. So when you're talking to kids, kids don't buy stuff, their parents do, but you got to get the parent or the kids to tell their parents. So you're marketing to the kid and the parent, which is why if you have a channel dedicated to kids, then you're going to have a higher RPM than, say, somebody who's talking about a whole bunch of junk on the internet, right? So when I say junk on the internet, I'm talking about Diddy stuff, right? Diddy, and just a whole bunch of, rap entertainment stuff, just the whole anything is just in the entertainment that's just like junk, celebrity gossip, just a whole bunch of stuff like that. That's just literally junk. And it's like you get your CPM, which means that as an advertiser, if that channel was just all about celebrity gossip, then you're going to be paying a lot less to market to their audience. Whereas like if your channel would say is all about, finances, and when I say finances, I'm talking about, investing. Maybe you're even a wholesale real estate strictly channel. You're only talking about just wholesaling real estate, or you're only talking about just stocks, only talking about just, real estate investing, just Bitcoin, all of that kind of stuff. Your CPM would be higher, meaning that as a as a creator, they have to pay more per 1,000 views. So where it may be $10,000 on somebody who's talking about, you know, celebrity gossip or just junk, quote unquote, $10 per 1,000 views for them. Then you take it to another channel that's talking about stocks, you know, bonds, Bitcoin, gold, a whole bunch of assets and ways to, you know, earn extra side money or, you know, side hustles, car business, whatever business stuff. That audience, it costs more to market to that audience because ideally that audience has more money to spend. Ideally, that's what advertisers are saying. That's what Google and YouTube are selling to these advertisers. Now, you as a creator, your CPM on that channel might be $20. So you get $20, right? So no, that's not how it works. You get CPM versus RPM. So your RPM is going to be your rate per mile, meaning how much are you getting as a creator? What's your rate per mile? Your rate per mile is going to be split up 55% and 45%, right? So 55% going to the creator and then 45% going to the, you know, YouTube channel. Excuse me, to YouTube as a brand, right? And let me go ahead and confirm that. I always say that, but that is the case. I just did what's some call it. Use RP. Yeah, but it's 55% to creator. Exactly. YouTube get the 45%, creators get 55%. That's the biggest thing, right? So to say what that means is that basically you as a creator, you know, you get $100, $55 go to you as a creator, and then $45 goes to the YouTube as a company. But so to break all of this down, on to go back to, you know, our main topic here, which is point number 2 when it comes to owning a business. You may sit back and believe that your YouTube channel is a business because ultimately you get paid while you sleep, which is just crazy, right? No matter if you're getting paid 50 cents, you know, 10 cents, 50 cents, a dollar, no matter what it is, YouTube is the modern day asset when it comes to, you only can receive this kind of money when you own the property or when you own something, right? And your overhead could have been a lot higher because the, you know, expense category as far as, you know, what it takes to daily run a YouTube channel. And that's why we pay, you know, YouTube 45% because they pay overhead as far as data, electricity, to keeping the circuits up, all that kind of stuff. So as a creator, you really have no overhead. You get 55% and you're in a great position, but you're a glorified worker, right? That's the biggest thing. It's like you really are a glorified worker on the YouTube channel, which is nothing wrong with that because you get a lot of money, right? So you can, the CPMs can go as high as $50 for 1,000 views. It just really depends on your channel and, you know, what your how much you're driving, right? So I mean, your average CPM is going to range from let me actually share this on the channel real quick for you guys. Your average CPM is ranging from about to repeat this pulled up, yo. All right, let's look this up together. So your average YouTube average CPM 1534 is the average CPM on YouTube. And like that's average, right? So like I said, if you got $10, it can be higher. Some people are like $8, some people are, you know, 15, 20, $50, right? I don't know about $100 per 1,000 views, but I mean, I won't put it past the channel that got a high demand for their product from a standpoint of a high engagement rate and all these kind of things, right? So as much as there's so much to track on YouTube, none of this really matters because you work for YouTube as a creator, right? Like you ultimately you work for you. I mean, we're partners, which is why they call it a partner. You really keep the vast majority of your share, which is great. But ultimately, YouTube has the last say so, and that's why this was a humbling experience for me. And I'm in one respect, I'm happy that it happened at this time of my YouTube journey because it's at a space where I'm now able to hide that. All right. It's at a space where I'm now able to just decide where I want to go from here. Right. And that's where this next phase is going to be about as far as the next half of this video. Right. So I'm at a phase now where I can decide where I want to go from here. Like I said, for me, doing the third party content, although they did let me off with a strike, I mean, excuse me, a warning, like a community guidelines warning, they took the strike away. I was really thankful that they took the strike away. That's because I appealed it again, always appeal. But it's just like, where do I want to go from here as a creator, right? It's like, I really was enjoying watching the YouTube videos that I watched by myself with you guys. That's basically what I was doing. That was the whole strategy. I was watching the YouTube videos that I watched literally by myself, just with you guys. So then I had to decide, like, where do I want to go next? I've decided where I want to go next. Stay tuned and just keep stay tuning in with us. I appreciate you guys tuning in for us. But at the same time, it's like, where do I ultimately want to go next in the standpoint of a fulfillment factor? Because like I said, I was really fulfilled just looking at the videos that I always watch with you guys and just watching it by myself, versus just watching it by myself. But it's not worth it for me to die on, right? It's not worth it. That's where it's not worth me to die on. That's what you have to figure out about YouTube. When you look at people like Fresh and Fit and stuff like that, it's like, you don't want to go down that path, because we get into this creator realm, especially, I mean, when I started YouTube, I got on it to teach people. But then as I continue, it's like, of course, I wanted to make money from it, right? Of course. But it's like, so we get here, we want to make money, but it's like, we also want to express ourselves. And that's the thing about being a creative person. Anybody who's creative, maybe tune into this. You always want to express yourself, but you have to figure out, what's that thin line. And also, you got to respect the rules that you're willing to play in. Like, you got to figure out how far you want to go. And for me, like I said, sharing third party content, what I got suspended for, even speaking about so much on political stuff. I'm not the most political person. I just think this is a great time, just because a lot of things are happening in politics, and this is, a pretty funny election. But that being said, me just expressing myself and all that, I'm not willing to die on that sword when it comes to YouTube. It's okay. I'm not willing to do that. So I'll still be talking about the politics stuff. I'm going to have to do it differently. I'm not going to be able to do it as much on a live setting, but I will be able to upload the videos and just, like I said, I'm not willing to die on that sword. That's the biggest way you die on, is by doing it live on YouTube. Like, you got that chance, that barrier, if you actually upload a video, because then they'll tell you what you did wrong when you upload the video. So that's the good part about it. But when it comes to owning your data and having your audience, that's when it's a business. So being able to make this YouTube thing into a business, it's not just a YouTube thing, right? So that's what the switch that really hit for me is getting suspended. And anybody maybe watching this, it's like, this isn't just a YouTube thing. So don't just narrow it down to that. Don't just narrow it down that this is a YouTube thing. It's more than a YouTube thing for you. It has to be more than a YouTube thing, because when it comes to I mean, it doesn't have to be. I take that back. It doesn't have to be more than a YouTube thing if it's not, depending on what your setup is. But if it's more about, you and you building a brand, then your brand has to super exceed these platforms. And you have to really just find a way to do that. And that's where I'm at, right? That's what I realized. Like, I have to really find a way to make my brand extend beyond the platform, because as long as my brand is only sits on the platform, then ultimately, I really don't own my brand. Or all of the footage and everything that you upload and everything that you pushing out, you don't own any of that. You don't own any of that. And that's crazy. You really don't own any of that. YouTube can take all that shit down, bro. You can take everything, can be done in just a split second. And it's like, that's why I said, for one, figure out what you want to die. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to keep going on that route. YouTube, I appreciate you guys giving me the second chance and taking away that strike, because those strikes can just build up so quickly. You can get to 2 strikes so fast, right? Like, if they kept that strike on there, and then if they just put me in a position where, like, third party content is all I knew how to do, then I would just do it again. And it's like, I didn't do this intentional. Like, I didn't intentionally get a strike. Like, I thought I was doing something I could do. So then you get the 2 strikes so quick, and now you really shaking in your boots, because you like, everything can end. But it's like, no, we have to figure out a way to not make everything, quote unquote, revolve around a YouTube channel. We have to grow beyond this. But at the same time, YouTube is a product that you're licensing. And that's the part that I didn't address. It's the last one. YouTube is a product, but you're ultimately licensing this product when you really think about it, right? Like, it can get taken away from you at any time, almost for any reason, if you don't play your cards right. So it's like a license agreement with certain kind of restrictions, because everything that you upload on YouTube, it's not like it's just written in stone that it'll automatically be here in 20 years. They can take it away for whatever reason. They can choose and pick and decide. Like I'm a YouTube channel. I got about 3,000 subscribers. You know, doing nice numbers monthly with even the revenue, right? But we just got monetized. You know, back in what, July? That's 3 months ago. So it's like everything that you work for, but you have to figure out what you're working for. You're working for to build a brand, and one of your brand products is YouTube. This is what I mean by YouTube as a product. Faithfully, that makes more sense, because this is what I had to, like, you know, like, I'm me voicing it right now helps, but like I had to really think this over the last week. I'm like, you know, of course I'm building a brand. I've already known that, but it's like one of your products of your brand is YouTube. Another product can be, you know, clothing. Another product can be music. Another product can be separate things. But look at YouTube as a product, not as the brand itself. You know what I'm saying? Don't get so tied up in a YouTube channel that it's the only thing. But don't get it twisted, bro. YouTube is really great. I feel like in the future with YouTube, they'll actually require creators to pay to upload to their platform, similar to like how they doing, you know, with DSPs, right? Like anybody can't just release a song on a DSP. I guess YouTube is kind of a DSP, but not really, because you can anybody can upload a song to YouTube, but you can't just upload a song to Spotify or to Apple Music. It actually has to go through a DSP, which is you know, your TuneCore, CD Baby, United Masters, like all those kind of things. They have their own there's a few other names that are kind of escaping me right now, but that's my point. The point is, yo, there's a barrier of entry with those other things. I feel like YouTube in the next, I mean, it could be the next 5 years, but I'll say at least the next 15 to 20 years, YouTube may not exist as we know in the next 15, 20 years. So I'm actually going to say the next 7 to 10 years, you'll probably have to pay to upload on YouTube. And I know that sounds crazy, but when you really think about it, it's not that crazy. Paying to upload on YouTube right now, anybody can do anything on YouTube. I feel like, actually, let me share this. Let's just figure it out. There's a certain number of accounts on YouTube that hold up. Oh, all right. There's a certain number of, oh, my bad. All right, here we go. So YouTube has, let's see, how many YouTube, let's look up how many YouTube channels there are first. So there are more than 114 million active YouTube. Like, I just want you guys to get get basically maybe if you're watching this, the odds that you're up against as far as like succeeding on YouTube, because I've looked at that kind of stuff too. I'm like, yo, when I first started, I looked it up. When I really wanted to get monetized, when I wasn't, I looked it up. And then as I continue to grow, I still look it up. But look at this stuff. So these are some crazy statistics. There are more than 114 million active YouTube channels. The number of channels on YouTube is growing, with people uploading 500 hours of video every minute. Think, bro, every minute there's 500 hours of content. We're going to read through this, and then we're going to talk about what it ultimately means, and then we out of here. All right. So look, 500 hours of video every minute on YouTube. YouTube has around 2.7 billion monthly active users and 122 billion daily active users. Content. There are approximately 3.9 billion videos on YouTube with the average length of 11.7 minutes. More than 1 billion hours of content are watched on YouTube every day. 1 billion. Music videos are the most popular type of video on YouTube. Around 64 million people are YouTube creators. Okay. 64 million people are YouTube creators. Mr. Beast has the most YouTube subscribers, 279. Mr. Beast is highest earning worth 54 million. Play buttons. Less than 600,000 channels have play button worldwide. Less than 6%. Here we go. Less than 6% of channels are monetized in YouTube Partner Program. Do you understand? Bro, do you understand what that means? I don't think you understand, bro. 6%. Like, what's the math on that, yo? What is the math on 6%? We said 114 million. And there's 6%. All right, here we go. 114,000,000,000. All right, now divide that by 0.06. There are 100 and wait, one, one. All right, hold up. No, I messed up, y'all. All right, hold on. 114, 123, 123. I had to multiply it. Multiply by 0.06. Okay. So there are 6,840,000 YouTube channels that are subscribed. I mean, that are monetized out of 114 million YouTube channels. So what am I saying here? Actually, I want to look up one more thing. I want to show you one more thing. How many YouTube channels have over? All right. So there's 10.1 million channels. That equates to 8.86 of basically all of the YouTube channels that have over 1,000 subscribers. We just did the math. There's only like 6 million, was like 6%. It's 10%. Bro, that's crazy. So like these stats, they can do one or two things. Like for me, when I was seeing these stats, it actually motivated me because it was like a lot of people, for one, starting off on YouTube, bro, that stuff is a challenge. Like it's a challenge. Um, Especially if you don't have anything that you're taking from the real world and putting it on YouTube, right? So it's easier as you like if you're an athlete or if you're growing up and then you can show that uh process and then put it on your YouTube channel. Especially we see that in the football players these days, right? So these days, as a football player, it's so easy to build a YouTube following because you're able to transition basically your athletic notoriety to your YouTube stuff, and then but it goes to show that it's easy. Almost every athlete that does it has success, but it's challenging and it's not simple, and it shows that it's challenging, not simple, and it takes a lot of commitment. It takes a lot of commitment to really, and it takes a lot of comfortability even with yourself to really open up your life like that, and to commit your time like that, right? To do something like that. But to say that, bro, this can motivate you it can take you away from it. Faithfully, it motivates you guys because it goes to show that if you stick with it, bro, you're beating the odds, and it's so easy to beat the odds when it comes to YouTube. It's so easy to beat the odds when it comes to YouTube, only because a lot of people quit before they see any type of real payoff. So it makes it where you have look how many YouTube over 1,000 subscribers. Not 1,000 subscribers is not that many subscribers. As I've grown, I understand that your engagement matters more than your subscribers, especially when it comes to how much you're going to be paid. So you can have 2,000 subscribers, but if your engagement is not high, you're going to be your CPM, to take y'all back a little bit, right? What we talked about, your CPM is going to be lower, and then in turn your RPM, your rate that you actually take home is going to be lower. But still, it's encouraging to know that if you get over 1,000 subscribers, you're already part of the top 10% of YouTube, bro. It's such a and to get 1,000 subscribers is so easy. To keep them, I mean, that's kind of even easy too. Like YouTube subscribers ain't like an Instagram follower, right? Like on YouTube, when you subscribe to somebody, you're not like looking like, are they subscribed to me back or like stuff like that. You're not thinking like that. So it's way easier to keep subscribers on YouTube. Also, people forget who they subscribe. There's no limit on it, right? So people should subscribe to stuff. You might subscribe for one video. The channel has 1,000 videos. You subscribe for one video. So that being said, bro, to get over 1,000 subscribers, you're already in the top 10%. All right, let's look at some more crazy stats. Channels with 100,000 or more subscribers, there are 520,000 YouTube channels with, so that's like 0.00%, right? Average earning for YouTube channels with 1,000 subscribers is $50 to $100 monthly. Less than 6% of monetized. We did that. All right. Here's what I want to show. All right, this one isn't as prevalent, but I think it was 5,000. Okay, so 2 million. We can do the math. If 2 million people have 10,000 or more subscribers, this is like my next 5,000 is what I want to really get to next, but 10,000 is my next like big milestone. I'll be really excited about once we reach 10,000 subscribers, right? So 10,000 subscribers, 2 million. So let's do the math on that. We said 114 million. So 114 million. And let's divide 114 million by 2 million. Wait. I gotta do some good math, y'all. Help me out. What do I gotta do? Oh, my bad. I gotta divide 2 million by 114 million. 2 million. 2 million divided by 114 million. I told y'all I'm good at math. You know what I'm saying? 14 million. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's this 1.7%, but 1.75%. 1.75%. If you get over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, you're part of the top 1% of channels. Well, top 2% technically, but 1.75%. That is insane. That's my next one to get to. And this one probably won't be as what's some call it. All right, 100,000. Look at that. I mean, look at that shit, bro. That's 0.7%. If you get over 100,000 and 100,000, that's the people who got the plaque. That's when you actually get the plaque. You get over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, you're 0.7%. All right, I promise this all has a meaning. So don't worry, everybody get out of here. This all has a meaning. But I just wanted to take y'all through all of this because it's insane to really think about. Like, this is all it takes to be elites on YouTube, right? We chase after this because, or I guess you can say chase. Yeah, chase. We chase after this accomplishment because the life that it can provide, the all these different things, right? But I watched a video, the lifestyle, all this type of stuff. When I say lifestyle, I'm talking about the fact that you're able to earn money and basically work from anywhere and do stuff that you love to do if you like being creative, right? So this is why we chase this accomplishment as far as being 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like that's when you get the silver play button, right? That's really excited. That's when the play button. 600,000 channels has that. But anyway, all right. So we look for this. We chase after this because of all of these things that it supposedly can provide. But in the pursuit of that, we can't miss the fact that ultimately you're at the mercy of someone else. And if your goal is to have a successful YouTube channel, then great. But ultimately you're at the mercy of somebody else. But if your goal is to build a brand, then you're going to have to do things differently. And I think that starting early with these things and having this awareness, like I said, I'm happy ultimately that this happened to me because it made me start thinking and looking at things way differently. And I guess you could say looking at the bigger picture. So yeah, I'm going to do this. 100,000 subscribers, that's going to happen, right? Silver play button, that's going to happen. Like it's going to be hanging up in the back. I'm going to be like, that's going to happen. However, building the brand and understanding that YouTube is a product and it's a product of the brand, that's what needs to happen from the standpoint of that being intentional, because that doesn't just happen. You can accidentally get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. You can accidentally get, start making, 5,000 a month on YouTube because accidentally you had a couple videos blow up. I look, you see so many channels who done had like a crazy videos blow up. They got like 30,000 subscribers based off like 2-3 videos, and they just don't post for damn near a year. And it's like, yo, like I could have did that, Then you start thinking like that, but you can't think like that, right? But I'm going to say all this to say this is going to happen, but you can't get lost in that you're building a brand. And then also I saw a YouTuber this guy, I guess Steph So Cool or something like that. Long story short, bro uh ended up having, I believe, he was earning $200,000 a month on YouTube. This nigga, like, you heard that right, 200,000 a month on YouTube. Bro had like 9 million subscribers, something crazy. Let me see if I can pull up his channel. Shit, what's his brother's name? All right, whatever. But I'm about to pull it up. My point is, bro had like so many subscribers. His YouTube channel was, jumping, all this kind of stuff. But then he ended up posting a video talking about, he went broke, and his reason for going broke, like he was depressed. And it was actually kind of funny because I watched one of the other YouTube dudes. He was basically saying like, of course you go be depressed if you, stop earning $200,000 a month. Like, nigga, of course you're gonna be depressed. So don't just blame it on being depressed from the standpoint of you. That's the reason why you're so out of my bad. All right. So don't just blame it on being depressed from the standpoint of why you stop earning money. That's not the reason why. You stop earning money because a whole bunch of other stuff that you were also doing. So it's like, yeah, I get that. But what I took away from that is that he didn't build a brand. Bro, his YouTube channel had 9 million subscribers, but if you can go from earning 200,000 to, he said, basically it went from 200,000 to earning 100,000 a month to earning, 50,000 to eventually 30 to eventually like $15,000 a month. And I know, I guess if you're watching this, you could understand how you could consider yourself broke from earning 200,000 a month, being, a multimillionaire, to earning $15,000 a month. Like, your lifestyle changes probably dramatically, especially if you're spending the whole $200,000 a month. If you're spending like 10% of that $200,000 a month and, investing the rest of it and then living off of cash flow, that's the idea. But everybody can talk about what they'll do if they get to these situations, or if they're in this situation. The fact is, he was in that situation, I wasn't. But the fact of the matter, what I observed is that bruh's been doing YouTube for, I believe, like 8 or 9 years. Multiple channels, earning $200,000 a month, multiple streams of income when it comes to all through YouTube channel by different channels. But he didn't build a brand, because if you built a brand, then you have a loyal audience, and that loyal audience, you own their data. And if you own that data, then ultimately you can never go broke, because it's like, just continue. I mean, unless you just stop working. But also, if you learn how to market to them directly from the standpoint of out of YouTube, then you're not dependent on the ad dollars. He wasn't a controversial figure. He's not controversial. That's not why he, went broke. It looked like it was just from the standpoint of the engagement. Your engagement was so high at one point, but then for whatever reason, his engagement fell off. But when your engagement falls off, to take y'all full circle, to go back to CPM and RPM, your cost per mile is going to go down. So your cost per 1,000 views, if your engagement is lower, is going to go down, which in turn means your RPM is going to go down. Your rate per mile is going to go down, how much you're taking in. All of that can be avoided if you have, some kind of membership service or something that you're speaking directly to your audience and you're growing with your audience. That's another thing too. I believe his audience revolved around kids or something like that. So all of these different things to say that YouTube is a product. That's the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway. If you're a creator watching this, you don't take nothing away. That's what I took away from this. YouTube is a product. It's a hell of a product. It can be your number one selling product as a business, but it is a product. And yeah, you should market and drive traffic to that product because it's a great product. But it can't be your only product as a business. It can't be your brand. YouTube is not your brand, it's your product. As a business, as a brand's watching this, that's my PSA. As all creators watching this, YouTube is not your brand, it's your product. If it's your brand, if they take it away, and I say they, it means them. We all know who they is. You know what I'm saying? We know who them is. You know what I'm saying? If they take it away from you, bro, you're done. So you're telling me that your brand is done because they took it away? No. As we've seen with other creators, they go on, they continue to live on other platforms. But the fact remains, the reason that they lived on through other platforms is because they had that audience that was loyal. So it's like, own that data to your audience sooner than if you feel like it's going to get taken away from a YouTube, whatever, the debacle, whatever happens with YouTube. Own the data to your audience. That's when you own your audience. That's when you have an audience, when you own the data to your audience. So all of this being said, it's going to be a lot of different changes, a lot of changes implementing, still sticking with the live streams. I gotta switch it up because, like I said, I'm not willing to die on that sword. I'm not willing to. They already let me off, and like I said, big shout out to YouTube. I really appreciate the fairness of the appeal process when it comes to YouTube. That's a big like salute to them. If you do as a creator get any kind of strikes or any kind of like warnings or anything, always appeal it and be sure to state your case on why, and just make sure that you have a reason why, right? Because I genuinely had a reason. My reason, again, third-party infringement, but I told them this is really fair use. And I was really confused because I had watched other people do this. So I'm like, yo, what is going, like, how is this not fair? So, like I said, they took the strike away. They gave me a warning, but to do it again, like, it just doesn't make sense. So if you have your strategy, be willing to grow with your strategy. Be willing to grow with you. If you watch my YouTube channel, you watch the journey. I know I'm going on a rant now, but if you watch the YouTube channel, if you watch my journey, you can see I've grown in so many different ways from the standpoint of being able to reinvent myself. So don't be afraid to reinvent yourself, and don't be stubborn enough to say that I'm not reinventing myself from the standpoint of F them, unless you're willing to die on it. Everybody got their thing that they're willing to go with, right? People got their things that stand for something or fall for anything. If you're willing to stand on it and you're willing to be like F everything on some fresh and fit stuff or on some, Aiden Ross stuff. And actually, that dude got on some other stuff. I believe it was like some, either way. My point is, you saw it happen to big creators. So if it happened to big creators, these are our YouTube channels with, around 2,000-3,000 creators, 5,000 subscribers. I mean, around 3,000 subscribers. They ain't got no problem with getting us out of here, bro. And like, that's why I was really confused. I'm like, yo, I'm a smaller channel, relatively speaking. Now, granted, we just looked at the data, bro. If you get over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, you're already part of the 10%. If you get over 5,000 subscribers, you're 10,000 subscribers, you're part of the 1%, with top 2%, 1.75. So, that's another thing too. If you're watching, if you're a quote unquote smaller creator, look back and never forget the time that it took just to get to the stage that you're at. And the fact that you are at the stage that you're at, don't even think about jumping ship now. It's like, bro, you've come so far. Why would you jump ship now? Don't go so far just to start over, So that's in a lot of ways too. Like, you can't go so far just to start over and get suspended off of YouTube or get banned or kicked off of YouTube. It's like, unless you're willing to die on that sword. And if not, then rethink your strategy. You're not as free as you like to be. We all know that when it comes to everything. And I'm going to address one thing. I got to get up out of here. I would have really liked to review the video on this, but I can't. But Barack Obama was talking about black people. When I say black people, he was talking about men. When I say men, he was talking about some of my niggas. You know what I'm saying? So now Barack Obama was talking to my black men out there. He said something to the fact of like, basically like, something to the fact, he didn't say this, but this is like paraphrasing heavily. Black men got slave master syndrome that vote for Trump. It kind of was like, that's basically what he was trying to say. He didn't say that at all. That's not the words that came out of his mouth. But if you looked at the video and if you heard it, then that's kind of what he was saying. I don't mess with that at all. It's kind of like what Joe Biden said almost in the last election, that if you don't vote for me, then you're not black. And it's crazy. It's like, he obviously got that from Barack Obama, right? That's why Biden felt comfortable enough to say it, because he was talking with Barack, like, you know what, Barack, if they don't vote for me, he was telling Barack, then Barack was like, you know what, Joe, you're right. So I can see that happened. That's why he said that now, because the way Barack Obama was talking to black men, he was like, you know what I'm saying, Uncle Ruckus, like, you know what I'm saying? He was basically saying that we have slave master syndrome if you have voted for Trump, and if you think about voting for Trump. And he was also saying, like, I get it, you don't want to have a woman in office because you think that she's not power enough, but that don't mean that you just go to the person who's basically belittled you and talk bad about you your whole life, speaking about Trump, right? To that, my response to that, and again, I wish I could have went over the video, but my response to that is bullshit. I think that's don't forget that these people, at the end of the day, they want to win an election, bro. Like, Barack Obama did not, for one, do anything for black people when he was in office. It's not like he singled out black men and said, I'm doing this for black people. He did not do that. He did not do that at all. So don't get online and don't get on your campaign trail and single out black men now. And for two, why are you just singling out black men? Why do black men have to vote for Kamala Harris because she's the same color as us? We don't even know if she's the same ethnicity. And, I say don't call yourself black. Yeah, there's a difference between a color and ethnicity. I'm very aware of that. My point is, so we supposed to vote for her just because she's the same color as us? Like Barack Obama, bro. You better than that. Barack Obama way better than that. I feel like he better than that from the standpoint of like he he will be offended if somebody approached. I mean, I would think he'd be offended if somebody just told him to just do something because you just see the same color. It's like if if black person that's voting for Trump, if whatever they believe in aligns more with Trump and their circumstances aligns more with what Trump has to offer, then vote for Trump. Doesn't make you any less of a black man, doesn't make you any less of a black person, doesn't make you any less of love for yourself. Doesn't mean you have self-hatred. All that shit is like, bro, like don't be out here spinning our folks out here. You know what I'm saying? Don't be out here making our people feel like we got to do something based on identity politics and that we have to do something based on what? And that's the thing, like really based on what? Like what has she like really has to really necessarily offer? And now let's not get things twisted because we are in the middle of this election. I am still kind of on this fence about who I'm gonna vote for, to be honest with you. Kamala Harris has been really making an improvement in my book. That being said, though, I don't appreciate Barack Obama coming at me like that. Because if I want to vote for Trump, I'm gonna vote for Trump. And you got to know it's a whole bunch of guys out there, whole bunch of black guys out there that feel like that might even just vote for Trump just because Obama out here telling black men who to vote. It's like Obama, bro. You ain't do nothing. You went into you might as well have been a white president. Like, I mean, what did he do for black people? He might as well have been a white president if we just speaking facts. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because white people ain't really do nothing. I mean, my point is, black people voted for Barack Obama because they thought he was going to make a change for black people. That's a real fact. We thought Barack Obama was going to do something different. He implemented a lot of great things. I'm not going to say he didn't do a lot of great things for a lot of great people. You know what I'm saying? He helped out a lot of different other causes. He made the gay marriage legal. He made a lot of other things legal that really changed the trajectory of our society. But a white person could have did that. Like, bro, I was so excited that you were the black president because I thought you were going to do something specific for black people. It hurt me when Barack Obama did nothing for black men or for black people. Excuse me. Now they probably think I'm a patriarch, but I'm only saying that because he was talking to black men. Barack Obama didn't say, here, every black man. Like, I'm about to give some examples and y'all might kill me for it, but the fact of the matter is he didn't do it. He didn't say, hey, every black man in the U.S., I got a stipend for you. Just because you black man in the US and I know what it's like. He didn't do that. Like, he didn't do anything for black people. So don't come around 8 to 10 years later talking about almost saying what Joe Biden said last election and got canceled. Not get canceled for it, but got called out for when Charlemagne sat right there and took it. So Charlemagne sat right there and smiled. Yeah, I'm not black if I vote for that. He sat right there and smiled, and then he had to come back and clear it up because he understood people was like calling him out. Like, you really just let this white man say that to you in your face? So it's like Barack Obama, you don't get a pass just because you black, just to tell black men that if they don't vote for Kamala Harris, that they're basically not black, but they have slave master syndrome, or that there's something wrong with them, or you're just disgusted with them, or all the belittling things that you said. Because you didn't say that to Asian men. You know what I'm saying? You didn't say that to white men. You didn't say that to nobody else but black dudes. And it's like, bro, why are you saying that to black dudes? I don't mess with that. I'm already with the whole like identity stuff, because it's like, bro, she's black. Yes, she's the same color as me. She's probably like 2-3 shades lighter than me if I was making my avatar. But, no, she's probably like 4 shades lighter. But my point is, yeah, she's lighter, but she's still black. I said that on the last episode. Kamala Harris is black. No matter what we think about her, no matter what we look at her, she's black. If a white person look at her, she see the same thing that she basically see when she look at me. So I dig that. I respect that about her 1,000%. But at the same time, don't just say that I gotta vote for her just because she's the same complexion as me. That sounds and then don't belittle me if I don't vote for her because she's the same complexion as me. Insane. I think that's really insane that Barack Obama did that. I think it's sad that he did that. Like I said, I wish I could have played the video, but I just think it's sad. I think it's really disgusting. I think it's sad. I think it's a lot of things that as a black man, mid-20s growing up, it just goes to show that people will do anything to win. Nobody's above that mantra. You know, nobody's above that. People will do anything to win. People will say almost anything to win. People would do almost anything to win. And it depends on where their values lie, right? Now we know where Barack Obama values lie. He's willing to belittle black people to feel like he can get a few points in a race. Belittle black people if they don't fit his idea of blackness, basically, which is insane. Because it's like, I don't even think this nigga wasn't this nigga like a Hawaiian or something like that, bro? Like, I don't even like his middle name is like look, I ain't about to get that much into it because I got a lot of respect for Barack Obama, but that right there was just trash to me. It was whack on all levels, and I don't like it. And I feel like him saying that is why people like Joe Biden think they can say what he said and feel the way he feel. You got Barack Obama over there validating all his feelings, and Barack Obama done nothing for black men, done nothing for black people. Like not one thing, bro. Tell me some things that he did for black people, and then we can talk. But at the same time, I still would like to meet Barack Obama one day. Got a lot of respect for him. All right, y'all. That's it, man. Like I said, keep tuning into the podcast, switching up the tempo a little bit, switching up the strategy a little bit, but still having fun at the end of the day. And that's what this whole thing is about, having fun and talking some. All right, until next time, man, as always, you know what to do. Get the stepping, get the stepping, get the stepping. Hey. That was a good episode.